Hey, my name is Claire, and I've been taking care of Elisabeth for about 2 years now, going on 2 years, September 5th, 2020. That's Dean's and my wedding anniversary. Let's see what year, 6th wedding anniversary. My husband, Dean, has known Elisabeth for 27 years. We are her neighbors. I've known Elisabeth since, I guess, about the time I moved in here in 2014. I might have seen her before then. So, you know, you could say dating back as far as 2013. So that's like 7 years. And, you know, when you see this video, I pull down my mask. She has trouble understanding me when I speak through the mask, and she's always telling me to pull my mask down so she can understand me. I try to wear a mask around her as much as possible because she's 89 years old and fragile and susceptible, you know, to coronavirus. I've always been healthy and well, and my husband too, but just to be on the safe side, we always try to wear masks around her. But please understand that she's like an extension of our household. Because we live so close to her, you know, and I have to see her. I visit her house at least 5 times a day. My husband and I have just begun sleeping over. Overnight, I think, is the hardest for her. She adjusted to being alone for, you know, over these last 2 years, but since she's come back from the hospital this last time, it kind of feels like, you know, she needs us to sleep over. So we've just begun sleeping over again. We haven't done that since 2018 when she was still walking and falling, and we were so scared. She used to get up at 5 a.m. and start walking around, and that's when she would fall, and that's why we started sleeping over back then. And then she ended up wanting to stay in bed, and for a week that was the plan. She was going to be in bed for a week, and she never left bed, and she's been bedridden ever since. And finally she agreed to get an x-ray. She resisted it for the very longest time. And an X-ray revealed that her bones never healed correctly. She has osteoporosis, and her bone is a little soft. And the bone surgeon, as she calls him, said that he understands why it's very painful for her to walk, and she shouldn't walk, and she'll be fine if she never walks on her leg again. It's her hip that broke during a fall before I was ever working for her, and it was because at the time her nephew was responsible for her, and he elected to just have the surgeon. My dog is trying to catch a fly. It's very cute. Her nephew elected to do the cheap option and put a screw in her hip because we think he probably thought she was not going to survive and that she was about to die, and he just wanted it done cheap. So I guess to preserve the estate that he was going to inherit part of. And it's very sad that he did such a thing. The surgeon wanted very much to give her a hip replacement. Had he been able to do so, she would be walking today. And but, you know, no surgery. He does not recommend surgery ever. You know, she's 89 years old, and he does not recommend surgery to have that hip replacement to correct the problem. So as long as she doesn't walk on her right leg, for the rest of her life, she'll be fine, which means she's bedridden, and she is so fragile with her osteoporosis. You know, it's hard to even put her in a wheelchair. I have to rent a specially equipped van to take her anywhere. She doesn't want to leave the house hardly ever. only when it's absolutely necessary to go to her doctor's appointment every quarter or so. So, and and her groin has severe pain because of this screw in her right hip. Her right groin is what really hurts her, and it's all because her nephew chose the cheap option, expecting her to die, and that nephew is no longer in Elisabeth's life because he stole her money, collaborated with a former caregiver to steal Elisabeth's money, and there's documentation, but it's their word against hers, and Elisabeth was not properly consulted with. He had a power of attorney and he abused it and did not inform her, and she trusted him with her whole heart because that's her sister's son, and as a result, she's bedridden for the rest of her life, and that's very frustrating for her. Anyway, that's the story, and here you go. Elisabeth dictated this statement to me yesterday, Monday, August 17th, 2020. I just happened to notice that upon the wall of the room my husband and I sleep in is an art piece created by Elisabeth's and her husband's firstborn daughter. And it is dated August 17th, 1979. I just noticed that last night, the first time we started sleeping over again for Elisabeth. And I thought that was really interesting that is the exact date. It's 41 years ago yesterday that their firstborn daughter created that art piece. It's a bunch of shells and starfish from a beach on some driftwood, and she wrote on there the date. And of course today Elisabeth and I recorded this video. Please understand that it's very difficult for Elisabeth to do the most basic things. Her energy is very limited these days. She's 89 years old, and she doesn't get out, she doesn't exercise like she should. She doesn't want to do very much, and as a result, it's very hard for her to do the most basic things. So when I asked her to read the statement she dictated to me yesterday, it was going to be a very difficult task for her because she doesn't read, I guess, and she doesn't. I bought her books to read, and she doesn't want to read them. And signing is a big ordeal because of her severe arthritis. And so here you go. This is the statement she dictated to me yesterday, Monday, August 17th. And what follows is our videotape of her signing the document I wrote and printed out for her. And I read it to her yesterday, Monday, August 17th, and confirmed that that's what she wanted it to read as, and she did. She approved it, and today she was going to sign it, and you'll see what follows. Thank you. And I should add that Elisabeth is not just my caregiving client, she's like my family. I don't get a day off. I'm there 7 days a week, at least 5 times a day. And now my husband and I sleep there while still living in our house, in the neighborhood. Enjoy. This is Elisabeth's engagement photo from, I guess, 1949. At the time, she was in nursing school, and you can see a little photo to the right there of her in her nursing uniform back in those days. Of course, Elisabeth is retired. She worked for 26 years as an RN, and today she's all out of money because she was so very, very generous that she gave all her money away to all her children and her grandchild. She had 3 children. They have all passed away. Her husband has passed away. And the only child she has left is her granddaughter. And she just recently gave her granddaughter the last of all her money. And now Elisabeth is broke and can't even pay me. Elisabeth does have one sister, a sister she helped to raise. She's quite a bit younger than Elisabeth, but this sister has no contact with her other than an occasional card and note criticizing Elisabeth. Elisabeth didn't even have her phone number. I had to Google it. Elisabeth and I have quite a bit in common. We're both the firstborn of families that don't exist for us. And even though I didn't grow up in her family, we are blood relatives, I was told. Elisabeth is 5'10" and was captain of the girls' basketball team in high school. Her dream was to become an Army nurse in triage and never to get married, but her high school sweetheart put an end to that when he followed her to another state where she was attending nursing school and insisted that she marry him. She says she has regretted it ever since. I didn't seek out my situation with Elisabeth. It just happened to us both one day when Elisabeth found out the huge amount of money her nephew was paying her former caregiver out of her money and without her permission. They weren't respecting her or her wishes, and they were stealing her money right under her nose. This former caregiver, was her cleaning lady, whom she had met a couple years before through the contractor who partially renovated her $70,000 house for well over $100,000. Yeah, she was scammed, totally scammed. It was a bank teller at South State Bank who recommended this particular contractor. And it really became clear that Elisabeth's bank officer was somehow benefiting from this scam. As is the case with most senior citizens, Elisabeth totally trusted her bank, as well as all authority figures, to look after her. However, the bank was targeting her as a widow without any family left. This scam team appeared to be making themselves her new family by taking her money any way they could. And Elisabeth's former cleaning lady caregiver took control of her nephew by becoming sexually involved with him and paying him a small payout from the paychecks he signed on behalf of Elisabeth. On the day Elisabeth became aware of their scam of her nephew came running to our driveway to ask if my husband Dean was home. He wasn't, so her nephew explained to me that Elisabeth was now on her own. She accused him and the caregiver of stealing her money and had just fired the caregiver. He told me that it wasn't true and that she was crazy. He was all done with her, and so was the caregiver, and the police would just have to look after her now because she refused to go to a nursing home. I then asked him if he had contacted the police to tell them that they were leaving her alone. He told me they hadn't, and that's how they got the idea to call the police. Dean came home just as the police arrived. Apparently, they told the police that Elisabeth was crazy, but Dean told the police she was fine and that we'd look after her. The police spoke with her and determined that Elisabeth was indeed fine and was adequately assured by Dean that she wasn't really alone. And that's how it all started. Dean is the professional caregiver. He has helped to take care of his severely mentally and physically disabled brother his whole life. But Elisabeth hired me because I'm a girl. The original arrangement was that I come over to her house every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. And this is the way it began, but as time went on, it became like a few times a week, and then pretty soon it was every single day. And at the time, I was overwhelmed with cleaning gigs, and I hadn't quite anticipated that this gig would become such an extensive part of my schedule. And it was with hesitancy that I continued on with Elisabeth, because at first she did not want to pay me very well at all. And it was really difficult to explain to her how much time and effort it takes to take care of her. And it was a fight to get paid what I now get paid, and I don't even get paid anywhere near the going rate that is typical in agencies. But yeah, I fought. I had to fight for what I make, and yeah, it's taken a very long time for Elisabeth to understand how much time and effort it is involved in taking care of her. At the time, I had just begun my studies at Augusta Tech to become an LPN, licensed practical nurse. Really, I learned more working for Elisabeth than I ever did in any of my nursing classes at Augusta Tech. To whom it may concern, Claire gives me 100% care. The care I got in the hospital was only 10% of the care Claire provides. In the hospital, nobody cared. I know Claire cares. Claire is like my sister and my granddaughter all in one. Remember, I am an RN. I know what care feels like. It comes from within. And as for a nursing home, why should I go there when my home is already paid for? Home is where the heart is, and that is where I want to be. Around my family. I know they care. All old folks always want to be at home. The one who always tells me the truth. All I want is the truth. I choose Claire Elisabeth Elliott to be my guardian. Claire has to be my guardian. There is no one else. This statement is in my own words. Elisabeth. Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. Today is the exact day I married in 1949, 71 years ago today. And I moved into this house with our 3 children in 1968, over 52 years ago. Okay, yeah, I know it's hard for you to hold it right because of your arthritis. Okay.
I can keep it right.
Okay. Here, why don't we wiggle your fingers like this? Can you do that? Okay, yeah. It's the arthritis, isn't it? Okay, this is your right hand. That's the one that you're signing with. Okay. Okay. Can you do this? Can you do this?
Yeah. Not much.
Okay. All right. That might help. You're not able to hold it very well, is it? Is that the... Okay, try it. How do you hold it usually? Okay. It's hard for you to hold it the way you usually do. All right, that's great. That's great. Okay. Okay. It's hard to do, isn't it? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. So let's here. All right. Here's the piece of paper. Why don't you read what you see there? This and tell me if first of all, before you start, do you remember the day I started working for you? Do you remember the day I started working for you? You don't remember? Do you remember the year?
2018.
Right. And that was how many years ago, or how long ago was that?
About 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. And what month was it? Do you remember?
October.
Was it October? Well, actually it was September. But yes, October was when I started working more full time. And do you remember the day in September? You don't, do you? Okay, because you were the one that always used to remind me that it was my wedding anniversary.
October.
No, it was in September 5th. That's Dean's and my wedding anniversary.
Why do I have to remember all that?
You don't. But I'm just saying that you used to always remind me of that, and now you it's not as clear.
That's
but
right.
Okay, so go ahead. What does all this say? Can you read it out loud?
Yeah.
Starting up here.
I can't read it now.
How about with your glasses? Let me find your glasses here.
That won't do no good. Please don't make me do it.
All right, you can't see it.
Really, let me sign the damn thing.
Okay, well, let me read it then. If you can't read it, you want me to read it?
No.
Your glasses won't help you? Oopsie.
No.
Let me try. Okay, there you go. You can't read it with your glasses?
I can't read it because I'm not sitting right.
Okay, can I help straighten you
No,
up?
you can't. Let me sign.
Okay, but let me read what you're signing. You need to read what you're signing, okay?
You've already.
I have read it to you, but let me read it to you right now. Okay, to whom it may concern. Okay. Claire, can you read that? Claire, can you read?
Give me 100% care. Care I get not in the hospital was the only 10% of the care Claire gives me. In the hospital, nobody cared. I know Claire cares. Claire is like my sister and my granddaughter, all in one. Remember, I am an RN. I know what care feels like. It comes from the end. As far as a nursing home, why should I go there when I have my own home? It is already paid for. Home is where the heart is. There is where I want to be. And my family and I know I care. All will take care. All folks want to be at home.
Okay, here's the second page.
Claire is the one who always tells me the truth. All I want is the truth. I choose Claire, Elizabeth, Elliott to be my guardian. Claire was to be my guardian. There is no one else. This statement is in my own words.
Is that statement in your own words? Did you just read your own words?
Yeah.
You did. Yesterday you dictated this to me, right?
Yeah, but it's my words.
Right, it's your words. You told me what to write, right? And I wrote it. And look what I wrote here. This is your name, right?
2020. Today is the day I married one.
1949.
1949.
How many years is that?
71 years ago today, Harold and I moved into this home. Our children.
With your 3 children?
3 children in 1968, over 52 years ago.
Wow, that's a long time, isn't it? Okay, do you want to sign this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is what you want to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sign right by the X. Okay, I know your hand is stiff. Okay. All right. All right. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Elisabeth.
Take this out of my eyes.
What? Take these off you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, they aren't comfortable, huh?
No.
Okay. All right.
Did I do it right?
Yes, you did. You did it perfectly. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All done. Are you ready to lay back down or have your breakfast?
No.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
Move it.
Move it. Okay. All right.
Oh.
Okay, let me put that pad down. Stay turned and I'll get that pad down underneath you, okay?
Come on, Laura, help me
All
get
right.
this leg.
I'm trying to get my mask back on. Sorry. It's hard for you to understand me when I don't put it on. If I have it on. Okay. Okay.
Give me time.
All right, no problem.
Who's coming this morning?
I don't know. I don't think anybody.
I hope they come and take these damn chapters out.
Oh, right. Yeah, I have to talk to Dr. Scott's office about that, okay?
Okay.
Because it's not comfortable, right?
And it had never been comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Move my pillow and maybe you'll do better.
Okay, I got it. Now I can move you up. Okay, let's take the pillow away. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
It's not really under you very well. Let me go to the other side. Okay. See, it's not really under you well. All right, are you up enough? I think you are. Your feet are up.
Okay.
You're so tall. You're so tall, and I can tell by your feet.
Give me my pillow.
I'll get it. Let me just straighten this out a little bit more first. Okay.
I'll have to be on myself right in.
Okay, is it comfortable enough?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you want your blankets?
Oh yeah, one at a time now.
One at a time.
At least I feel better.
You feel better?
I smell.
Oh, you smell better, right? Yeah.
You're trying to help me out with this. I want this one.
Okay. You want all your blankets, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
one at a time.
Yep.
Lord Jesus. You don't remember that song, do you?
What's that?
Something like one at a time.
One at a time?
Lord Jesus.
Lord Jesus.
That was a number one hit too
It
for a
was?
long time.
When you were a kid, or?
Oh, I don't know who on, but it was on the record player. God knows how many times.
Oh, okay, so when you were growing up?
No, when I was laying here in this bed.
Oh, you've heard it, you've listened to it a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Because you got your music late at night. Let me put it more this way. You like it better this way. Alright. Alright, there's one more. You want it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my Jewish blanket.
I know. move this closer. Okay, it's right there.
I'll take me my vitamin
Your
chocolate milkshake.
your chocolate milkshake, okay. She means this. 30 grams of protein. That's what I insist on. Do you want anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. There, I'll get you some more Pedialyte.
Okay.
And you're done with these? Yeah, they're hard.
These are long.
You want these?
Yeah.
They're dried out.
I don't care.
Okay.
See, I put them in my mouth.
Ah, and they
Take
melt?
some of that.
Really? Okay. All right, let me fold this up. All right, I'll be right back.